Demo day is here, and this demo feels like it could be the next Inscryption when it's fully released, and it's also one of the most unique deck builders I've played recently. This is Shroom and Gloom. It's a double deck building roguelike set in these awesome looking hand-drawn tunnels that are full of spore swarming enemies and these monstrous fungal bosses. We don't know much about why we are in these tunnels and why we're fighting against the spores, but when we do so, something mysterious sends us back to the beginning. So what exactly is this double deck building thing that I mentioned? When you first start the game, you begin walking through the tunnels and you find a skeleton with a backpack full of cards. These cards make up the beginning of your two decks, one for exploration and one for combat. The exploration cards allow you to do things like heal, gain extra health, open locks, or add things to your camp such as target dummies, allowing you to upgrade your combat cards, or a pot to make different meals with the food you gain throughout your run. On the other side, your combat cards are the ones you will actually play to fight against the spores in turn-based deck combat. At first, it took me a little bit to understand which cards would belong to which deck and how they all work together, but it ended up feeling like this really unique experience. I think some of my favorite moments were finding cards that would create food if that card does fatal damage. At first, I thought it was just to heal you, but then I found a card that increased the damage of it every time you ate while it was in your hand. I think there will be a lot of options to build unique decks on different runs. I think the only improvement I would like to see added is potentially using icons to indicate certain actions, as you end up with the text on the card spilling out, making it difficult to read the more you upgrade it. Now, something I find with deck building games is that sometimes the enemies themselves can be a little bit boring or repetitive, but there was something about the spore enemies that made it feel engaging no matter how many times you verse them. During your run, you'll choose which door to go through to explore the next tunnel, and each tunnel has different rewards, but they also have different types of enemies. So far, I've only seen 2 different tunnel types, and they each feel quite different. You've got the mossy tunnel, which seems to be more focused on healing themselves and putting negative cards into your hand, and then the thorny tunnel, which has enemies that deal damage to you every time you attack them. It was also fun being able to pick which tunnel type based on my build. I found that the bosses for each area were also really fun to verse. They weren't really all that unique until you get to the second or the final boss, but I'm really interested to see what kind of bosses we get to see in the final release. Now, talking about the different tunnels and areas, something I didn't realize until I played my final couple of runs before beating the boss was that you can use the map to see what options you have ahead of you, meaning you can plan out each run for each area. This actually made it so much easier to get different foresight cards to suit the way that I was playing for that round. Honestly, this was one of the most enjoyable demos I played recently. Sometimes if it's a demo well before release, they feel unpolished and unfinished, but this felt like something that could be its own standalone game, creating a really enjoyable moment. I love the overall art style and everything about the game. The double deck building made every moment feel engaging because you weren't just waiting for combat to do stuff, you could do things as you were moving to the next room. It also allowed for some really unique synergies that you can make across the different decks. I would definitely recommend that if you're a fan of roguelikes, deck builders, or anything similar to Inscryption, then this is definitely worth checking out. So go check out the demo on Steam. If you enjoyed this demo video, let me know what other demos I should check out, and make sure that you subscribe for more in the future.